It's
I thought you
I think everybody expect I smash Dustin, but this guy is a high-level fighter. It's not easy to finish someone, you know. But in the press conference, we have good discuss. He say, "I will make you sleep. I will knock you out." But I was told him, if you're not top, I will make you sleep, you know. And I finish him.
Let him do what he's doing, and keep an eye on him. It never even crossed my mind, as stupid as this could be, that the entire Muslim Brotherhood was here tonight in the first 5 rows for Islam. And as soon as it broke out, I was over on the other side and I go, fuck, I know exactly what that is. I knew it. And yeah, you will never see
The tension between Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry appears to be reaching a new level. Their latest face-off felt noticeably more intense than a routine promotional moment, leaving many fans wondering whether the hostility between the two fighters is becoming genuine. What was once simply part of the build-up now feels much more personal. With UFC 330 approaching, attention is increasingly focused on whether their rivalry has already crossed a boundary before either man has even stepped inside the octagon. The real question is whether this growing tension will have any impact once the fight begins, or if everything we've seen during the build-up will disappear the moment the cage door closes.
Historically and statistically unlikely, but also I think he's chatting out of his backside. I don't believe it for a second. I think he's playing a reverse psychology game, and the truth is, if he was smart, he would be saying this. However, I genuinely think he's thick enough to believe that, and which means he's not learned from his loss. So we're going to find out. But I promise you now, if he doesn't shoot on me in the first 30 seconds, it's going to be a very early night for me. Like, very early.
You know, in light of this...
And I don't like early fights. I don't like first round knockouts. I don't work my ass off for 8 weeks to have 4 minutes of a fight. I like a second round, a third round finish. That's what I like. I like to fight. I enjoy it. So, I don't believe a word.
Dana White addressed the confrontation involving Ian Garry and Islam Makhachev, indicating that he believed Garry had gone too far as tensions between the two fighters intensified. The situation became serious enough that security personnel had to step in and separate the fighters. Despite how heated the incident became, White decided against taking legal action and did not pursue charges. With that decision, the matter was effectively put behind them, although the confrontation added another layer of tension to an already highly anticipated matchup.
Well, that and a lot of other reasons,
Yeah.
but yeah, you'll never see him at another fight. So they called me from downstairs and they said, "We got him down here. Do you want to press charges and have him arrested?" And I said, "No, we don't want to press charges."
Luke Thomas believes Ian Garry will need to accomplish much more than simply collecting rounds if he wants to defeat Islam Makhachev. According to Thomas, winning minutes on the scorecards won't necessarily be enough against a champion of Makhachev's caliber. Garry needs to produce meaningful moments that can shift the momentum and change how the fight unfolds. Whether that means creating damaging exchanges, forcing Makhachev into difficult situations, or making adjustments that disrupt his opponent's rhythm, Garry will need to leave a clear impact on the contest rather than relying solely on narrow round victories.
Argument is not that you doing that is some kind of refuge for the untalented. Far from it. To do that, especially over the course of 25 minutes, and especially in Garry's case where he's coming on short notice, these are very difficult things to do. But as an observer, at times, doesn't it make you feel, anyway, it makes me feel a little empty? I don't need a finish every single time. I don't care that the fight went to a decision in this particular case or any other one. What I care about is if you're developing a skill set that is designed to win these sort of micro moments in a fight and to do that collectively over time, one, I think if there's enough of that happening.
Daniel Cormier said the latest face-off made it obvious just how heated the rivalry between Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry has become. With a huge audience watching, the atmosphere surrounding both fighters was noticeably tense. Cormier pointed out that the intensity wasn't limited to the two competitors themselves. The tension appeared to extend to their respective teams as well, creating an atmosphere that was difficult for anyone watching to overlook.
It just happened between a whole bunch of Russian guys and a whole bunch of Irish guys in front of millions of people. So for me, I had to kind of separate the idea that I was kind of laughing to like trying to go like, guys, we are probably in front of the biggest viewership we've ever had.
Dana White apparently expected the face-off to become heated, which is why security personnel were prepared to react immediately. Given the growing tension between Islam Makhachev and his opponent, officials understood that the situation could quickly become difficult to control. The heightened security presence reflected just how seriously the UFC viewed the possibility of the confrontation escalating before the fighters ever reached the octagon.
I actually didn't allow him to get the belt put on because I knew what was going to happen when we did it. People were going to start throwing whatever they had down into the octagon. So I said, let's just get him out of here. We'll have Buffer announce it. And then sure enough, as soon as they...
Chael Sonnen believes Ian Garry stays ready at all times. In his view, Garry keeps himself prepared so that if an opportunity suddenly appears, he can step into competition without needing extra time to get himself ready. That level of preparation means Garry can remain available whenever the right opportunity comes his way, allowing him to respond immediately when the call finally arrives.
Something happens, the first guy that I would turn to, and it might sound slight, but it does matter. It does matter to me. I have an opinion in this space. I have influence in this space. If Ian Garry is the official backup fighter, he is going to show up, he is going to get licensed, he's going to beat that.
Although analysts may disagree about the best strategy for defeating Islam Makhachev, they largely share one important warning: there is almost no room for error against him. A single mistake can completely change the direction of the contest. If Garry gives Makhachev even one opening, the champion has the skill and experience to capitalize on it immediately and seize control of the fight.
Very cocky, loud, brash, but very successful 17-1 contender Ian Machado Garry. Now Ian Machado Garry, he's never backwards in coming forwards, unless it's in the fight, because he will go backwards and he will dance around. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But Ian Garry's very cocky. He believes in himself, and you might find that annoying and a little bit frustrating, okay? But he's a fighter.
Ian Garry has made his ambitions perfectly clear. In his eyes, defeating Islam Makhachev would mean far more than simply capturing a championship belt. A victory over the reigning champion would become the biggest achievement of Garry's career and could completely reshape how the MMA world views him. For Garry, this is the kind of opportunity that could define his legacy long after the fight is over.
Whoever says the words "I quit" has to retire. Gloves off, center of the octagon, sayonara, my friend. I'm going to be the final chapter in your legacy of failure. I am going to rid the...
Islam Makhachev didn't take Ian Garry's confidence lightly, but his response was far from respectful. The champion believes Garry simply doesn't have the physical size or overall level needed to compete with him. Makhachev expects the matchup to follow a familiar pattern. His plan is to close the distance, secure the takedown, establish control, and eventually find a way to finish the fight. From Islam's perspective, this isn't a closely matched contest because he doesn't believe Garry is operating on the same level. Following their tense face-off, those comments have added even more fuel to the build-up toward UFC 330. Now Makhachev has the opportunity to prove that his confidence wasn't just talk by executing his game plan once the two finally meet inside the octagon.
Guy is so small. I'm gonna stop this guy. Like what I did couple minutes ago, I can do the same things. Take him down and finish him there. Because I know this guy is so small.
Max Holloway believes picking against Islam Makhachev is an extremely difficult decision. Over the course of his championship run, Islam has developed from a fighter primarily known for elite wrestling into a complete mixed martial artist capable of creating problems in every area of the fight. His grappling remains one of his biggest weapons, but Makhachev has also continued improving his striking and now carries far more confidence when exchanges take place on the feet. That combination has made him much harder to predict and much more difficult to defeat. Holloway believes this versatility creates a major challenge for Ian Garry. To beat Makhachev, Garry will need to find answers for both the champion's wrestling and his increasingly effective striking. Facing an opponent who can threaten in virtually every phase of the fight makes the task especially demanding. For Garry, the challenge is therefore not simply stopping Islam's takedowns. He must find a way to deal with one of the UFC's most well-rounded champions from the opening bell until the fight ends.
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. You know, it's hard to go against him. His fighting style is, is a tough one. You know, he likes wrestling. He likes striking. Now he's falling in love with his striking. So, I mean, it's hard to bet against it.
Luke Thomas views Islam Makhachev as one of the most complete fighters competing in MMA today. In his assessment, Islam's greatest advantage comes from how naturally he connects his striking with his wrestling, making it difficult for opponents to know exactly what is coming next. Thomas points to Makhachev's ability to change the pace of an exchange as a major weapon. Islam can appear comfortable trading punches at distance, only to suddenly change levels and pursue a takedown when his opponent least expects it. That constant uncertainty makes preparing for Makhachev especially difficult. Ian Garry will need to recognize those transitions quickly and react before Islam can establish control. Previous opponents have struggled to consistently stop that combination, which is why Thomas believes Garry faces such a demanding tactical challenge.
Dude, Islam Makhachev is a fucking marvel. As I indicated during the course of the broadcast, and this is not something that's not like, you know, this is not like widely known or something, but his stand-up is, when he's using his stand-up to set up takedowns, it looks a little wonky. But when he's using it, particularly to counter-strike, his slipping and then reaction time, and then his ability to just change up rhythm where it looks like he's striking with you, it looks like he's striking with you, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's launching into the wrestling. It is quite remarkable.
Daniel Cormier believes Islam Makhachev's success is the result of decades of development rather than something created during a few weeks of preparation for a fight. Makhachev began training in combat sambo at a very young age, giving him an early foundation in wrestling, grappling, and striking. Instead of developing those disciplines separately later in his career, he grew up combining them and continued sharpening each part of his game as he progressed through professional competition. Cormier believes that background is a major reason Islam has become such a complete mixed martial artist. His skills have been developed over an unusually long period, giving him experience in situations that many fighters only begin learning once they reach the professional level. Against Ian Garry, that lifelong foundation could become one of Makhachev's biggest advantages. In a championship fight where adjustments and split-second reactions matter, years of experience across multiple disciplines may prove extremely valuable.
He's by far the most talented person that we've had in mixed martial arts. Together, right, with his dad. So their whole life they did combat sambo. Combat sambo was actually like gi tops, punching, grappling. Like they were essentially doing MMA as like kids. Right. And then
Dustin Poirier believes Ian Garry's clearest route to victory could be through his striking. The problem, however, is finding the freedom to attack against someone as dangerous as Islam Makhachev. Every time Garry considers committing to a combination, he has to account for the possibility of a takedown. That threat can make an opponent hesitate, limit their offense, and create openings for Islam to exploit. Poirier believes solving that dilemma will be one of the most important challenges of the entire fight. If Garry can establish his preferred distance and land meaningful strikes without giving Makhachev an easy opportunity to initiate his wrestling, Poirier thinks the challenger could make the contest much more competitive than many people anticipate. The former lightweight champion's view is that Garry's path is likely to involve creating a major moment on the feet. But getting into the right range, committing to powerful shots, and taking those chances while constantly worrying about takedowns could be the most difficult part of the assignment.
Me and Goo were like, dude, I think Ian gets it done. I think Ian's
the way shit's been going?
Not the way shit's been going, but I think Ian's that fucking good. He's so big, he's so long, and he's so confident. And then Khabib came out and said, hey, Ian's a hard matchup for us. He's long, he moves well, he moves a lot. He's not going to go in there and get single leg easy dumped. He's going to fucking scoot back, he's going to throw, and it's going to be a difficult fight.
Some analysts believe Ian Garry's confidence and composure could create genuine problems for Islam Makhachev. Garry isn't entering this matchup simply hoping to survive. He believes his own abilities can force the champion into unfamiliar situations. And that concern isn't limited to outside observers. Even Khabib Nurmagomedov has acknowledged that Garry presents certain challenges that Islam hasn't faced from many of his previous opponents. In particular, Garry's height, reach, and constant movement could make it more difficult for Makhachev to establish the kind of control he's accustomed to. If Garry can use those physical advantages effectively, he may be able to create moments that force Islam to adjust rather than simply impose his usual game.
The division, everybody's turning him down. That excites me. That doesn't scare me, that excites me. Because in my world, I'm going to beat him.
He's very tall, he's very rangy, he can make the fight slow if he wants to. What do you make of his skill set?
His skills, I just have to run in this camp too much because I have to follow him because he runs too much, you know. I know his game plan, we always see his fight and he has same style always. But I will try to catch him, take him down, just what I did with my all opponents.
He's done a lot of his camp, obviously, with Charles Oliveira. He's trained a lot. Is there anything Charles can tell him about you that you're worried about?
Yeah, Charles is gonna teach him how to tap fast. That's it.
Islam Makhachev appears fully aware of the approach Ian Garry is likely to bring into the fight. He expects Garry to rely heavily on footwork, stay on the outside, and constantly reposition himself rather than allowing Islam to pin him against the fence. But Makhachev believes that strategy will only work until he manages to close the gap. Once he gets within grappling range, Islam expects the fight to follow a familiar pattern, secure the takedown, establish dominant positioning, and control the action from there. In other words, Islam isn't particularly concerned about Garry's movement. He believes the real challenge is whether Garry can keep that distance throughout the fight without eventually being caught by his wrestling.
For Ian Garry, it's a hard fight for Islam Makhachev. I believe that this fight will be determined by what happens in the beginning of the fight. Garry is able to stay upright for a first round. It could be a long night for Islam. But if Islam is able to secure takedowns early or get close to Ian Garry, I believe that then the fight will start to sway in his side.
And I'm telling you right now, this fight for Islam Makhachev may be a lot harder than what people think. Given all of the accolades that Islam Makhachev has, it's easy to just dismiss Ian Garry and say, listen, he's got to just run right through him. Okay, you could send him to Dagestan or Georgia for 20 years and still forget him.
Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado. Gary, what do you make of that matchup?
That's a great fight. Look, it's a great fight. Ian Garry for a long time has been saying that, you know, he is the future. Obviously, it's his nickname. Like, he sees himself as being there with the belt. He's visualized it, but now he's got Makhachev in the division. And I mean, Makhachev's got the kryptonite for every single person in the division. No matter where the fight goes, he's got the skills to challenge you and to call
Islam. Now, I'm not predicting for you that he's going to. We'll get to that as this fight gets closer, but I'm sharing for you he can. And Ian Garry is a pain in the ass. And this whole thing that he can't.
Unbelievably grueling training sessions. And, you know, that was one of the things that was so apparent, like with his endurance and their discipline was like second to none. They were like, no girlfriends, no phones, no video games. We train. Yeah. And, you know, recover, train, eat, recover, train. And you wanna really be a champion? This is how you have to work. And this is why Islam Makhachev is so good.
He just win his biggest fight in his life against Belal, and people don't know him. But the way how he show his skills, I think he's a very, very tough opponent for us. That's why we train so hard. We just finished last sparring yesterday. It was 11 week of very hard training. Islam ready to go, and we expect a very tough fight again.
Do you think he respects you as a threat? Do you think he respects you as a fighter?
If he won't, he will. If he doesn't right now, he will when I'm finished the fight with him. If he doesn't respect me, then he's in for the shock of his life on August 15th.
You've had plenty of time to visualize the fight. What are you seeing now? What are you feeling?
Ariel, I genuinely right now, it's by any means necessary. My hand gets raised by any means necessary. It could be first round knockout, it could be fifth round knockout, it could be submission, it could be a dog and dog back and forth war. As long as my hand gets raised, I've succeeded in achieving everything I want to achieve in the sport. And I do it against one of the best fighters we've generationally seen.
Ian Garry is heading into this matchup with enormous confidence, and he believes Fight Night will prove that his belief in himself is justified. His objective is straightforward: defeat Islam Makhachev and establish himself as the new force at the top of the division. That confidence comes with an obvious risk. If Makhachev manages to bring the contest to the canvas, the champion's wrestling and positional control could immediately become the deciding factor. Garry's best opportunity may come by keeping the action at striking range, where his height, reach, movement, and accuracy could create an entirely different fight. That's why some analysts continue to warn against dismissing Garry too quickly. At the same time, Makhachev and his team aren't taking the challenger lightly. Islam recognizes that Garry has already earned the biggest victories of his career and has demonstrated enough ability to deserve genuine respect. That preparation has reportedly gone into an extensive training camp designed specifically for the problems Garry presents. The champions team understands that the challenger is intelligent enough to avoid obvious traps and athletic enough to create danger from the outside. This is also why predictions have become so divided. If Garry can maintain distance, land consistently, and avoid extended grappling sequences, the fight could become far more complicated for Islam than many expect. His movement and long-range offense could force the champion to make adjustments. But Makhachev brings a completely different kind of threat. His experience, wrestling, pressure, and ability to maintain control have repeatedly allowed him to neutralize elite opponents. If he gets Garry into his preferred positions, the entire complexion of the fight could change within seconds. For Garry, this represents the biggest opportunity of his career. Confidence alone won't guarantee victory, but he believes he has the tools to create one of the most memorable upsets the UFC has seen in years. Makhachev, meanwhile, is fighting to protect everything he has built. He wants to remind everyone why he is regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. A narrow decision isn't necessarily what the champion is looking for. He wants a performance that removes any doubt about who remains in control of the division. At this point, the interviews are done, the strategies have been discussed, and the predictions have been made. Once the octagon door closes, none of those opinions will matter. Will Islam Makhachev continue his incredible run and prove that Garry still has more to learn before reaching this level? Or can Ian Garry produce a career-changing upset and shock the entire MMA world? Share your prediction below. Who wins, how does it happen, and which round do you expect the fight to end? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Combat Opinions. Every subscription helps us continue covering UFC news, fighter reactions, expert analysis, and the biggest stories from across the MMA world. Thanks for watching Combat Opinions, and we'll see you in the next video.